Welcome to another episode of Home Sweet Home. My name is Rod McCall.
And my name is Bryce Runge. It is good to see you, Rod.
Well, same here. It's been, it's always fun to get together to hang out, chew the fat, and kind of tell stories, some of which may be true. So,
that's about right.
Okay, it was good to see you out there making a sand pile for the girls.
Yeah, I was like, I grew a wild hair. I'm like, first of all, I removed all the stone and the rocks around the tree wells.
Okay.
Just to have it mulch and only, and it looks cleaner. And so I used that. I'm like, I'm going to build the girls a little sand pit.
Okay.
It's like one of the hotter days of this month already, and It's like wheelbarrowing. That was my workout for sure. Well, it was a lot of work. Anyways, and so then I got all the sand, and then I'm like, I need more sand, so I had to go back, and so it turned into this project. But apparently the girls loved it because I was at men's study on Wednesday night, and then Suzanne sent me a picture, and the first thing Bristol did was fill her bucket up and dump it on Ryder's head.
Love it.
So sand everywhere.
Okay.
I told her, I said, well, it is a sand pit.
It is, and getting ready for life at the beach.
Oh yeah.
Because there, when I was swimming in the Atlantic when I went and saw a buddy of mine, and we had sand everywhere.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't even swimming deep in the water. The water didn't go past my waist, but the tide going in and out, and then of course, we swam or rinsed off because they got those showers there at the beach, and so all of that. We get back to my friend's house, and I think there was probably at least half a pound of sand. Despite washing off.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad that they were having fun.
They had fun.
So do you have fun?
Do I have fun?
Yeah. What do you do for fun?
Most of the time, I have fun.
Okay. What do you do for fun?
So fun would be, I don't know. I guess I don't do anything. No, I'm just kidding. There's a few things that I do. I like reading. That's fun.
Okay.
I like golfing. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can attest to that.
Sure.
Being my driver and / caddy.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun for me anyway.
No, it's fun for you. Yeah. Braddock's and I have the trading cards thing. That's a fun little hobby that we get to go. In fact, tonight we're going to the Dallas Card Show.
Very nice.
He's got his cool, like, hard case, briefcase, if you will.
Okay.
Full of cards, graded cards and whatnot that he wants to sell tonight.
Okay.
So he's got everything printed out. This is what he's going to list it. This is what he's going to ask and
what he'll accept.
So he's already priced it all out. So he's ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna be his driver.
Okay.
Make sure no one tries to swindle him or anything. But like that, our family, we enjoy family walks together. I'm sure there's a few other things.
Okay.
I like road trips.
I get that. I understand.
I know we've talked about that before.
Yeah, we have. So would you say that that makes you pretty happy?
I would say most of the time, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, because, I think that a lot of times we get too wrapped up in trying to be happy rather than truly accept that you're happy.
Yeah.
But then again, do we cloud I got to be happy and I can't be any of the other emotions? And so it got me wondering, okay, how many times do we pretend to be happy when we're not very happy?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where I was, thinking. And I saw a blog post by this Dr. Stephen Hayes. He's a works at the University of Nevada.
Okay.
And in their department of psychology. And he was talking about the difference between living or being happy and being well. And so it kind of got me thinking, how many times do we live happily versus, do we try to be happy rather than be well?
Mm.
And so that's where I was kind of going is, do you think you're happy or do you think you're well? I mean, Earl and I didn't ask you if you were well, but are you, what do you do for fun? How do you stay happy? Do you, and do you ever express some of the other less than happy emotions?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. In a positive way?
That's questionable.
Okay.
Depends on who you're asking. Someone wouldn't mind say I'm being you're kind of a rain cloud right now. What kind of a rain cloud actually? Well, there are different rain clouds, aren't there?
There are.
So I mean, that could maybe determine the level of my attitude.
Okay. No. Because I mean, have you ever known people who fake being happy?
Oh yeah, they put the fake face on and all that. Yep.
I mean, I get it. Fake it till you make it.
Right.
I try that in the classroom a lot. You try and be. You come in. You got to have a. How should you say? So you got to be. If I go in with a blasé, lackadaisical, oh hey, here we go again, then I get a ho-hum response out of the kids.
Right.
But if I go in with a, hey, what's up? Hey, happy Monday, happy Taco Tuesday, whatever it might be, they feed off of that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. But sometimes you have to kind of pretend. But, so this guy was saying, this Dr. Hayes was talking about some studies that were done. And he was talking about how many times maybe we're focusing on the wrong things. And so it kind of got me thinking as to, are we willing to look at ourselves a little more honestly?
Mm.
And so if you're okay, I thought maybe we could kind of explore some of this.
Honestly?
Well, no, I want you to lie to me.
Why would I do that?
Well, that's the whole point. Yes, be honest, Marty Pants.
Yes. This is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, as I'm looking through this, he's talking about a variety of things. And they talked with over 54,000. In fact, it says 54,633 studies were done asking people a variety of issues related to their mental well-being. All right. Being happy, sad, all kinds of different things. And anyway, they basically came out and they were talking about how, again, and it's the results that I kind of want to try this again.
What kind of show is this? Now you're twerking on our podcast? What the hell? Good Lord.
Let me back up.
Well, now what? Come on. We need to start now.
Thank goodness we do not have the camera going quite yet.
Because nobody wants to see you twerking and backing it up.
Twerking. I was just, good Lord. All right. So anyway, they were saying that. All right. So they're basically talking about our flexibility. And they're not talking about our physical flexibility, but our psychological flexibility. And our ability to kind of see where you're at, understand where you're at, and be able to kind of adjust. If you're right, if you're feeling a little down in the mouth, if you're feeling like a rain cloud, instead of being a negative Nelly or wet blanket or what, can you turn yourself around?
Mm-hmm.
Can you not necessarily do a 180, but can you move to something less negative? Because you and I both know that people like that tend to infect other people. So if we're negative, well, we spread that negativity around.
Mm-hmm.
Same way with positivity. If you're positive, you can spread that around. So they were talking about, again, this flexibility. And so they came up with 3 what they identify as 3 pillars of psychological flexibility.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, because I'm going to read here. He says that certain psychological flexibility has been proven, or is a proven skill of importance to your mental health and emotional well-being. And he says people can suffer from anxiety or depression or addiction or any other kind of mental distress, but your psychological flexibility can help you deal with whatever those issues are more effectively. So that way you can kind of move on and deal with them and not let them be an anchor around your ankle and suck you down.
Got it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the first one. All right. The first one is awareness. All right. In which he says, noticing what happens. Be present in the moment. All right. What kind of thoughts show up? What feelings are you experiencing? What kind of understand what's going on with your body? Use the senses, to intake information. So, are you aware?
I think that's such a critical piece to mental health. I think we talked about something similar, identifying the emotions and learning and understanding how to effectively respond to what you're feeling, what you're going through, what you're experiencing. And so this self-awareness or awareness, as he says, I think it's a critical piece to establishing a good mental health. You mentioned being present. We could get so bogged down with the busyness of the day, and this is why I think leads to a lot of mental health issues, disorders, because people are so busy, whether it's work, or they have kids, or it's both, or they're multiple things, that they just don't make time because they feel like they can't make time. So their mental health is put in jeopardy. So there's all these weapons of mass distraction that bombard them, if you will, putting up these walls to self-awareness in order to identify, hey, what's going on? Here's a red flag, recognize it, deal with it, heal with it, and move on. But I think so many people are just...
How about this? I was reading a news article.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
I mean, because when you talk about being busy, when you think back to this news story I was reading, I saw it several different times over the last week and a half in different places, worded different ways. But going back to the Middle Ages, all right, during feudalism, days of knights and kings and queens and serfs and, all that. So we're talking about the 12, 13, 1400s. They were saying that people in those days worked on average 250 days out of the year. 250 days. That means that they had over 100 free days of rest, relaxation, community, whatever you might want to call it, festivals, call it however you want. But we have 365 days. How many days of those per year do you work? Do I work? My teaching contract has 187 teaching days. Okay, but that doesn't count the weekends. That doesn't count, the stuff you do over the summer.
You mean you don't have summers off?
Well, I may not be in the classroom.
I know, I'm just teasing you.
You think about how many, the average person has 2-3 weeks of vacation a year.
Yeah.
Okay, you throw in the weekends, and how many days are they working?
Yeah.
Sherry works all the flipping time.
Yeah.
A 10-hour day is a short day for her. Rare is the time that she works only 5 days in a week.
Wow.
So, the busy times of the year, she can have 40 hours have her 40-hour work weekend by noon on Wednesday.
Wow.
So it's kind of crazy, but it's, I don't know. You're right. We work too much. So if we're so busy working, are we able to be aware of our own emotions, our own feelings, how we're dealing with things? And if we're not aware, then maybe we wind up going down a rabbit hole without realizing it.
Yeah. You saying that and with Sherry and her work schedule, and it made me think of Suzanne and how burnout, I'm going to use the word burnout, she is, because she gets pulled into stuff at the night, and the weekends, specifically around quarter end. And this last one was just, it did her in. So I've encouraged her to take time off, if you will, to deal with her mental health, because it has taken the work. And she read something, she's getting a little bit better. We keep talking about it. We keep trying to encourage her, but she said something to me last night. She says, I read this and it hit me so hard. I may misquote it just slightly here. The only people that are going to remember that you worked late nights are your kids. And I'm like, dang, if that doesn't rock you at your core, you're dying for your company right now that doesn't care about you.
No, because you're just a dancing chicken on a hot plate.
Yeah.
They'll replace you in a heartbeat. But you're right, and those are the kinds of things, though. I'll tell you this. I watched my dad work overtime, nights and weekends, and I thought that's just what you did. When you got to be a grown-up, when you were the man of the house, when you were running the family, that's what you did. And I will tell you that I did it. I worked and I volunteered for all kinds of extra duties, worked a part-time job, nights and weekends, because I thought, well, that's what dads do to make sure that there's enough funds for the family, because being a teacher in a private school doesn't pay a lot at the beginning.
Right.
So, but that kind of ties in then with that awareness. When you're able to focus on, or to understand, appreciate, be aware again of your environment, then it helps you broaden or focus on other aspects of what you are experiencing. Again, dealing with that anxiety, the depression, all of that. Again, being aware and kind of tying in, like what you were saying, Suzanne did. Even though it may not realize that at the time, she was, again, I guess, fitting into this category of being aware.
Yeah.
Which then flows easily into the second one, which they identify as openness. Basically stating that with openness, allowing difficult thoughts and painful feelings like, my boss doesn't care that I am working 14 hours a day, that I've been here. It's, I started at 6 this morning and it is 8:30 at night. And the only breaks I've taken was, to snarf down a little bit of lunch, a little bit of dinner, and run to the restroom.
Yeah.
But by being open, first, you're aware of what's going on, and then kind of open to what you're seeing, what you're experiencing. Yeah, you're going to kind of maybe sometimes address some of those painful things, the things that we don't like to admit. We've talked about that before too. We look in the mirror. And sometimes we don't like what we see in the mirror, and so we stop looking.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're saying with this. When you're open to what you're experiencing, maybe you're going to see, again, have a revelation like what you were saying Suzanne did.
Right.
And so, because otherwise you can't move forward. You're going to be kind of like we've talked before, you're going to be stuck in park.
Yep.
And therefore, you're not going to be able to move through whatever you're feeling or experiencing. And you can't get out of the negatives to the positives.
Right.
And so, anyway, but, I think that's kind of hard, especially without a lot of effort.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to do better at understanding what I'm experiencing, what we're going through.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I try and not yell at people when I'm driving as much.
Yeah. Well, you're recognizing it.
And that's kind of because I will get very hostile. I will get angry.
At what point do you, well, obviously, maybe you haven't realized yet because you still yell at people. I think there's a storm going on. Is there a storm happening? Is that what I'm hearing?
It might be thunder and lightning.
Thunder and lightning.
I need to pull my truck in your garage.
Why?
Well, that way when it storms and hails, it doesn't hurt my truck.
Do you have insurance?
Yeah, but you got an empty garage.
Gosh.
Hey, be open to new ideas.
If you want to go pull it in, go ahead. Yeah, what I was saying is that, you yell at these people while you have your AC on and your windows up. You realize they don't hear you or even see you.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's the logical part comes into play.
Right.
But that's kind of that openness and recognizing, using those other emotions, the other senses, so to speak, because you're right. And I will just get so frustrated. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, I do know why. It's because they're going so damn slow.
Right.
I mean, when the speed limit says 50 miles an hour and there's 3 lanes going all the same direction, and all these knuckleheads are hell-bent on going at or below the speed limit, all 3 lanes.
Did you ever think that, maybe that there's in those moments, there are lessons that you, young Jedi, need to be learning?
No, I know.
Patience.
Grace. I tell God, thank you for another opportunity to fail at patience.
Learning to slow down. What's the rush, dude?
Because I hate driving.
Then walk.
No, that takes forever. No,
you're so hard to please.
You're spot on, and I'm with you. I do better with the audiobook than I do with music, because music I drive according to music.
Oh yeah, don't put on Metallica or
anything.
AC/DC.
Oh yeah, because Highway to Hell. You're on it, baby.
You're on it.
I'm gonna drive anyway. No, and you're right. And with openness, I do recognize. What are you doing? You're getting all worked up.
Right.
And so, anyway, our mind isn't really geared to kind of what they're saying here.
Mm-hmm.
It takes training. It takes a deliberate effort to kind of take the input that your senses are giving you and then go, you're right. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my way home. I'm done with work. Yeah, these jackwagons are going to slow me down, but I'm still going to get there and I'm going to be fine.
Right.
So, you know what? I get to listen just a little bit more of my story.
Right.
So just relax. It's not that big a deal, but you got to get there.
Right. It is a lot. It's much easier said than done. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, for you and I, we have and are currently trying to transform our thinking, enhance our thinking to be more like what we were just talking about. And, we could sit here and say that, and that's good. Cultivating a positive mental attitude and learning how to respond to these things positively.
Mm-hmm.
And this may work for some, but there's some things that a person can do to help to learn through these. Like, you could write things down and have them posted in your vehicle.
Yes.
Like I have a couple in my truck because we get so busy and we forget, and then we just go on about our day, and we're not, so those are visible reminders.
Mm-hmm.
They're just for you. So don't worry about it. Just put a post-it there. Hey, slow down. Right. That or put, most everyone has a cell phone. So with a reminder or whatever on there. You can set your alarm or whatever to go off. Also all throughout the day to maybe stop, pause, pray, reflect.
Okay,
those are reminders, because if you don't set that, who's going to remind you? Because you're so busy.
Yeah.
So if you have those, then you start to condition yourself toward having a more open, having a more aware mindset, an open mindset.
And that ties in with the last suggestion, or the last pillar as they identified it. And it is what they identify as valued engagement. Know what your goal is. What do you want? And what are you doing to make whatever change, that openness that you're, recognizing, make those changes. Mm-hmm. What do you want? And make that change. And so, all right, tonight, on my way home, I will try to breathe deep, relax, and enjoy the moment.
Right.
And not be in such a big hurry to run over all the slow-moving people between my house and yours.
There you go. I know you could do it.
And they say that when you can do this, with whatever your outcome, your desired outcome can be, work on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these values are yours. It's what you want. What do you want to be? I mean, do you want to be that angry person?
Right.
I don't want to be the angry driver. I don't want to be the aggressive driver. I just want people to drive like they actually want to get where they're going.
Right.
But you're right. They don't hear me when I yell at them.
Yeah.
They hear my horn. And if I had a big truck like yours, they would feel my tires.
They would feel my tires.
But no, I think that it goes, basically it's the concept of, what do you want to live? How do you want to live? Do you want to live well?
Yeah.
Because if you can find a way to live well, would you then by default be living happily? And so I kind of like these three pillars.
Yeah.
Again,
I do too. They're very good.
Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what's causing you to feel the way you're feeling. Be open to change. Be open to doing something different, and then do it.
Mm-hmm.
Plan your attack, and then attack your plan.
Yeah.
And with your goals in mind, you can then achieve this. And they're saying that psychological flexibility is the single most important skill for your mental health and your emotional well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're there, when we're feeling a lot better about what's going on, whatever it might be, at school, at work, at home, well, work on that mindfulness.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's a good one. This is very important, and I absolutely agree with it.
Well, it ties in with, going to school, trying to become a professional counselor. One of the issues is what makes therapy work, and why does it work? And well, it's because my goal as a therapist will be to help you identify what is the issue, what do you want to do, what are some options available to us, and then let's act on those options to make the change that you say you want to see.
Right.
So if you can do it by yourself, you can save yourself some money.
Well, that would not help you.
Well, but I'm not a therapist yet, so.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's great, great advice. I think it's so important nowadays, specifically, just because our mental health all throughout COVID, and now the aftermath of COVID, and now people we're so isolated and somewhat bored, I guess, maybe, and now they're packing in way more than they were physically meant to absorb, and now they're stressed out, and anxiety is at an all-time high, and stress is at an all-time high, and busyness is just kind of taking over, and we're missing out on the most important things in life.
Family, friends,
a healthy lifestyle.
Balance.
Yeah, and so this is this hits the nail on the head, and I think it's very timely, and I appreciate you bringing it to the podcast today.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Well, anyways, I think we're, you are here for that. That's the only reason I invite you over, actually.
Well, in that case, I guess it's time to pack my bags and hit the road. So with that, I'm Rod.
And I am Bryce. Y'all have a good one.
I'm going to go play the sandball.
Don't you dare. I just raked it. I just combed it. All right. We'll see you next time. Actually, we won't see you at all. Well, maybe we will. If we see you in public, then say hi. But we'll talk at you next time. What am I saying?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.